How to get started using Wattpad. Hey everyone, welcome. I hope you're all doing great. In this video, I'll be talking about Wattpad. I will show you how to get started. So this is going to be more focused for beginners who are just trying to sign up for Wattpad and want to know more about it. So basically, if you're into reading stories or into writing your own stories, Wattpad is pretty much for you. It's actually for free. You can sign up for free and you can either start reading people's stories or you can actually go ahead and write your own, where people can actually discover your story and read more about it. It could even get published and all of those things. So let's just jump into the video. As you can see here, you see your story maybe even get produced to a movie or a film or get adapted to a TV series, and you can obviously publish it. So to get started, you will need to visit the website wattpad.com. And then from here, we can just straight up go to the signing up process and sign up for free. Now, like I said, it is completely for free, but you can also do or try the premium version of Wattpad, which you will be given a few things here. For example, no ads when you're actually reading a specific story. Usually, it's going to be between chapters. So this time, if you actually subscribe to the Wattpad premium, you wouldn't be having to deal with all of those ads and stuff. You'll be able to get unlimited offline stories and the coins for Wattpad. You will get bonuses when you actually make a purchase and more stuff like premium picks. So you can actually just feel free to subscribe. You can see the plans here. So feel free to compare these two, premium or premium plus, and see which one is actually going to suit you best if you want. If you don't really need it, you can just go ahead and start for the free version, and then maybe you can make up your mind whether you want to upgrade or not. So back to the homepage, wattpad.com, we can just click on sign up, and you can sign up using Facebook or Google or with your email and password. I prefer to sign up with my Google, so I'm just going to do that and get back to you once I'm done with the signing up process. It is going to be very simple and easy. I'm not going to bore you with it. So once you finish your signing up process, you should find yourself within the homepage of Wattpad. In here, you can browse all the types of stories that you want to read. So here you can have the community tab where you can actually, access communities and stuff. But here for the browse, you can actually go ahead and browse the genre of the stories you would like to read. For example, thriller, adventure, fantasy, and so on. So you can just filter by clicking on them, one of them. For example, here I just went to adventure, and you can just, go through them, see which ones you actually prefer. You can click on them, read more about them, and you can just get started by clicking on read, and this is how to pretty much access stories for you to read. So just feel free to look up things, find the type of genre you would like to read about. There's plenty of genres, to be honest, like horror and so many different genres. So just select the one that you actually prefer. Read about it a little bit, like the description, so on. You can see, you can actually read more about it, and then we can, by reading all of this, we can decide whether we want to read it or not, basically. And you can just click on start reading, and this is how to basically get started on reading stories from Wattpad. Now, what about if you want to write? Because now the reading part, I believe it was very simple. It doesn't really require much knowledge to get started on that. You just look for a story you would like to read and start reading. This is all there is to it. But for the writing part, you can just go to the top right here where you can actually find the write option. And here you can see a few options here, like create a new story or browse the stories that you have already created. And you can also access writing contests if you want. Here, obviously, you have your profile and more stuff like inbox, notifications, library, like the stories that you are actually reading through, and more settings as well. By the way, if I didn't mention, Wattpad is not only in English. If you wanted to access multiple languages, it's also going to be available in many different languages for you. You can write in many different languages, and you can also read in many different languages, which is actually great. So now let's say we actually want to create our own story now that we are, we've covered the whole thing about reading stories. So click on write, and then we would want to obviously create a new story. And now this should load up. Now here we will need to fill a few things out before we get into the writing part of the story. So, a few things. You will need to add a cover for the story. This is obvious. So, you would want to go ahead and hire a graphic designer or whatever it may be. Maybe even create your own. Just create a cover image for the story. This way, as you can see, when we were browsing for stories, it was mostly images here because people just they get the gist of the story by the image, the genre and all those things. So make sure you have a proper image for your cover. You can just click on upload, and I'm just going to upload this one. I don't really have a proper image, obviously. It's just a tutorial, but just upload a proper image. And the title, you would also want to make sure that the title is professional and to the point, and something that you actually think would be catchy for others to read. So feel free to title it whatever you want or whatever you think is going to be proper for the storytelling you're about to write. So test story, because I'm not really going to be writing a story, but make sure the title is on point. Now for the description, you would want to actually take your time and put out some points about what this story is about without really spoiling much. Just try to excite people so that when they read the description, they're going to not hesitate in reading the story. They would want to right away get started on the story. You could drop a little bit of hints just to, make that spark of excitement reach the right amount. But yeah, just write about what this story is about without doing too much. So again, I'm just going to be doing test description. I'm not really going to be writing a description here, but obviously you would want to take your time with the description. It's very, very important and very crucial for people who want to actually read the story. Now here is going to be the list of the main characters that you have. Now this is, I believe it's optional if you don't want to add any, but you can just feel free to add the main characters. So tester 1, and you can click on the plus icon to add another if you want to. So you can add as many as you want when it comes to the main characters. Those are obviously going to be the main characters. It's self-explanatory. So just add your main characters, and once you're happy, we can move on to the next category. I'm going to remove this, just add one, tester. Okay. So the category here, you would obviously want to choose the proper category, genre. I'm just going to do, for example, horror. And here we have tags. Now, tags are going to help people find your story much easier when they search for a specific thing. So you'd want to add tags that are related to the story that you're writing, obviously. So you would want to separate tags with a space, by the way. So for example, test, and then space is going to write another one, example, space, another one, and so on. So add as many tags as you can. This way you can be more easily discovered, basically. Target audience, I believe this is going to be the age group. So you would want to select the age group that you think are going to be the target audience. So whether it's going to be new adult, adult, or young adult. So just feel free to select the one that is proper for you. The language is just going to be the language that you're going to be writing in. So I'm just going to keep it as English, but you can feel free to select one of those languages that are listed in here. Copyrights, you would usually just keep it as all rights reserved. But if you have more knowledge about what you're doing with the copyright, I'm honestly not an expert with this, so just you can see the options in front of you. So feel free to choose the one that suits you best. But I believe all rights reserved is going to be mostly what we are going to use. But again, if you have more knowledge, you can feel free to choose whatever. And then we have lastly the rating before we actually get to the starting. So this is just going to be basically if you have any mature content in the story that you're telling. If you do, you just make sure you turn this on. If you don't, then just keep it off. Again, it's self-explanatory. I'm just going to click on next now that we are pretty much set. I like how they just keep adding tutorials to each button you click on. Anyway, so here we have the actual writing section. So basically, we have the header, or you could say, yeah, it's the header here. You can add a video and an image, one each, or just only one of them. So for example, only one image or only one video, or one image and one video at the top of the first section here. So you can just feel free to add whatever you want. For example, if it's an image, let's just add the color red, and you can also add a video to match that. So you can just click on edit or this, and you can add YouTube video, and you would want to add a link to a YouTube video. So this is completely up to you, whether you want to even add anything or not. It's completely up to you and your preference. Now in here, you have your header, which is going to be the title here. So we can just go ahead, write the actual header, the actual name of the chapter, or whatever it may be. And then here you would want to get started with your writing. You can add your images, videos, and you can just feel free to write whatever you want. So you can just go ahead, feel free to write whatever you want, like I said, and you can always just add more images with the text or videos if you want. You can keep writing, and you know, just write it to the way that you actually like. And then let's say this is part one and you're done with it and you want to start another part. Very simply click on the top left, click on new part, and it's just going to create a new part for you. And obviously you can just switch between the 2 or 3 or 4, however, how many you have, just you can switch between them. And once you are happy with this entire thing, you can just click on save and publish, and it should be published. It's that simple. So it's not going to be complicated to use at all when you actually want to write. If you don't want to say, if you don't want to publish it, but you want to keep working on it, maybe tomorrow, you can just click on save. And once it actually saves, it does say saved on the top left, and we can just exit out of here. And now we can just always get back to seeing it. So if we click on here, or just click on write, sorry, we can go to my stories and you can see it here, and we can just click on continue writing. And this is pretty much how to use Wattpad, or at least the surface of it. So this is how to get started with Wattpad. For the time being, this is all that you need to know to actually get started. Now, there are obviously some things that I didn't mention because of time, and I just, forgot about them maybe. But I believe this should be good enough for you to get started and start working on your own story. So I hope that you have found this video to be helpful, and thanks for watching.